Hi, my name is Helen McCrarren and I live in Monaghan in Ireland. And I'm so delighted that you could join me here this evening for another session of the Lockdown Eden Method. So Céad Míle Fáilte wrote 100,000 welcomes. So as I said, my name is Helen. I'm an Eden Energy Medicine or an Eden Method clinical practitioner, and I teach the Eden Method Fundamentals Level 1 classes here in Ireland. So I'm living here in Monaghan. We're about 2.5 miles from Northern Ireland. So we've had a lot of time surviving Brexit before heading into COVID-19. So I work as a social worker. I work with mental health issues. I work with young people and adults. So I've had to have a lot of changes due to the COVID-19. Where normally I would be seeing people in person, now I do most of my work over the phone. And in the hospital, I have to do it on the telephone, whereas when I'm doing my Eden Energy Medicine practice here in Monaghan, at least I can use Zoom so that I can see people. We also have a family business here. I have a husband and my son lives here as well. And our family business is related to food production. So in many ways, they're on the front line as well. We export most of our produce to the UK. So with everything that's happening in the UK and everything that's happening here, it's very difficult to know how to manage the business. Food doesn't stop growing overnight. You can't say today, stop growing mushrooms. It doesn't happen like that. So we're having to make choices every day about something that's going to impact later down the week. So one thing I've learned about mental health is that we all like routines. Routines make us feel safe. And I think it would be fair to say everybody's routine is impacted by COVID-19. Some people have had huge changes in their lives. Some people have had less changes. I know one of the biggest disappointments for me is that I was scheduled to go to Vancouver to see my youngest daughter on Friday of next week. So it's been very disappointing, and I would have been continuing my Year 4 training in San Diego. So those things are all postponed. I suppose another good technique with mental health is to accept what you cannot change. So I can just accept that I'm not going to Vancouver and that is going to happen at a later time. So here at the Eden Method, we really want to give you skills for managing your way through this crisis, managing your mental health, your energetic health, your physical health. The great thing about the Eden Method is we have such amazing tools to manage our self-care and tools that help us to manage our mental health. So what I'm going to work on tonight is 3 main areas. So the first part of this routine focuses on how energy moves between our right and our left brain and between our back and our front brain. And that makes a big difference. If we can have that energy moving, it's going to help us make much more skillful decisions, and it's going to imbue hope in our lives. Then I'm going to look a little bit at other things that are important to mental health, such as connection, joy, and gratitude. And I'm going to show you some exercises that we use in the Eden Method that make a big difference and that really support moving energy like that. So what is the Eden Method and what does it do? So the Eden Method works with energies, our energies. The Eden Method recognizes that our energies are influenced by lots of things. They're certainly being influenced by today's pandemic, but they're also influenced by the way we sleep, the way we think, colors that we wear, the environment, the people that we're with. So I think those are all things that could that are impacting us at the moment. So we have these amazing tools. So people sometimes ask me, well, what is energy? So before I began, I wanted you to think about what is energy. So I have 3 points that I would like you to ponder. Have you ever had the experience of walking into a room and you just know something's been said, or there's been a row, or something has happened? There's nothing to tell you, but you sense it. You pick it up. It's in the energy. Or have you ever had the experience of sitting in a restaurant and just knowing that somebody was staring at you? You could actually feel their eyes burning into the back of you, even though you couldn't see and they were behind you. And the third thing I would like you to think about is what is the difference between being dead and being alive? So everything comes back to energy. And we use the word energy a lot in mental health. For example, when we're depressed, people say, I have no energy. Or if we're very anxious, we're very restless. We can't get our energy to focus. So let's begin. So the very first exercise I'm going to talk about is K27. So K27 is the 27th point on kidney meridian. So meridians are pathways of energy. They're very structured. It's like going through a channel. So we have 14 meridians and each one has a very specific channel. So the one we're working on now is K27. So if you come to the edge of your collarbone and move out to the side, and there's a little divot here. So you're just going to tap on these points. Now, why these points are so important for me, and the reason I'm starting with it, is there's a junction point here for all our meridians, and it makes sure our energy is going in a forward direction. If our energy is not flowing forward, nothing else is going to really work. So we need to know before we start doing anything with our energies that it's flowing forward. So let's tap here. Just, you know, our energies are as unique as our thumbprint. So you need to notice and tune in. What's happening for me when I'm tapping on these particular points? So this is just putting your batteries in the correct way. I notice with people, I think when we're very anxious and when we get depressed, our energy tends to switch off a lot. So I encourage people to do this exercise quite a lot, maybe every hour, and to add an affirmation to it. For example, I am safe. I will get through this. Everything is in order. I am being looked after. So just add in that affirmation to doing this. Okay, so I need a little drink. It's thirsty work here, entertaining you all. So the next exercise then, I know if you're familiar with the daily energy routine, you would do other taps. But for me, because I want to concentrate on the brain health tonight, I'm going to just move on. So the next exercise that I focus on is the cross crawl. And the reason that I focus on the cross crawl is because it influences the movement of energetic health between the right and the left brain. And actually, I'm not sure if I already told you, we're going to talk about 3 particular things. We're going to talk about the brain health, joy, and triple warmer and spleen energy. Anyway, so our cross crawl is you're going to, you're going to cross. So our left brain is very sequential. It's very orderly. It thinks in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas our right brain is very creative. It's very holistic. It's a visionary. It can see things, it can imagine things like, oh, this is going to get better, whereas the left brain is probably stuck in all the reports that are coming from COVID-19 every day. So when we get into this and we go from right to left and right to left, we're improving the flow of energy between the right and the left brain. And that allows us to come up with whole brain thinking. That gives us a sense of hope. Well, when you're feeling worried and upset, a sense of hope is vital. So this is a key exercise for me that the Eden method really helps us with. It promotes that flow of energy between right to left, which means it generates hope. And I think we could all do with hope at some time. As I said earlier, we all are as unique as our thumbprint. So how was it for you to do that exercise? Did you do it along with me? I know for a lot of people, when they get very stressed, they find this exercise, which looks really simple, quite difficult to do. They're not able to do that cross. They can't find the other leg. They just can't get the pattern. So change is difficult for most people. So if your energy habit is that it comes straight up the legs and up over your head in two parallel shapes, that means your energy is not crossing, and our energy likes to cross over. So if that exercise made you feel tired, it means this is the pattern that your energy is running on. So I'm going to invite you to do that exercise a different way. And so we're going to start with a pattern your body's used to, and that will stop you from getting a panic or getting upset. So let's march on the spot to the count of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to introduce this cross crawl. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to go back to the beginning again and march on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to cross over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now for the last time. So we're going to do 8 of what we call the parallel pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to do double the amount of crossover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So check in again. How are you feeling? Did doing the parallel pattern and then the crossover pattern give you energy, or did it take away your energy? So you figure out for yourself. The pattern that gives you energy is the one that you need to work with. So you can go straight to cross crawl, or you might just decide to do the homolateral repatterning. So now we're going to move on. So that exercise really promotes the flow of energy from the right brain to the left brain. And this might be a good time to remind you that it is possible to log on and get a free class. So if you'd like to learn more about the Eden method, you can go to freeclass.edenmethod.com. So now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the energy between the back brain and the front brain. So the way our brain evolved, we have the brain at the back, the occipital bone here. This is really called, or often known as, our survival brain or the reptilian brain. So it deals mostly with instinctive responses. So if we feel in danger, if we feel threatened in any way, and I think the pandemic makes everybody feel threatened, this tends to get very activated. Then as we evolved as community and started to live in communities and families, the next part of our brain evolved is called the limbic system. And that's where we work with, that's where our emotions reside. And then the last part of our brain is in the frontal cortex here. And we use this part of the brain to make skillful decisions. It can handle a lot of information really quickly. If you think about guiding airplanes all over the world, you would be doing it from this part of your brain. So when we experience a strong emotion in the limbic system, we have a choice. Are we going to go to the back brain to get information and figure out how to handle it? Or are we going to go to the front brain to figure out how to handle it? So we're going to make much more skillful decisions if we can manage to train our energy to go to the front brain to find answers rather than reacting and slipping into the back brain. So this exercise is called the Wayne Cook, and it is one of my favorite exercises for many different reasons. So as I'm doing it, I'll tell you some more interesting stories about the Wayne Cook exercise. So I'm going to demonstrate it standing up first. So putting your left hand out, bringing your right hand over, interlinking the fingers, and then bringing it up to your chest. You can cross your feet and take a deep breath in and out 3 times and sort of pulling your body up. So, and release. And a second time. And release. And a third time. And then put your right hand out, cross your ankles again, putting your left hand over, interlinking the fingers, and just bringing it into your chest. And again, taking 3 deep breaths. And now we're going to put all our fingertips together and just putting our thumbs just on our forehead. So this, and again, taking 3 deep breaths. So while you're taking your 3 deep breaths, I'll tell you another little story about this. So Donna Eden, who developed the Eden method, has to be one of the most radiant people you could ever meet. So I love when she tells the story about how her and David, when they met in the early days, Donna found it very difficult to communicate what she was thinking. She describes herself as the dumb blonde who was with this amazing psychologist. So one day they were in a restaurant and she was upset and she left. And when she went outside, she did this Wayne Cook exercise. And she just walked in and she describes it as the first ride that she ever won. So if you need to be very clear in your communication and you want to give a clear message, this is one of the best exercises that you could do. Also, if you're homeschooling kids, this is a great exercise to do, or if you're working from home, and most of us leave home behind when we go to work, but if you're trying to combine both, doing this exercise will definitely put you into the right headspace. So the second way to do this exercise, I'm going to demonstrate on the chair. I have to take my water off. So again, tune into your energy and notice which of these, which way you prefer to do this exercise. So we're going to bring our right leg over our left knee, bringing your left hand down below the ankle and your right hand down to the base of your foot. And you're going to bring your body up towards you, your feet up towards you. Again, taking deep breaths in and out. Then putting the leg down, putting your left hip over. I am quite stiff, so I find it hard on this leg. So again, putting your hand below your ankle and your hand on the base of your foot. Again, doing that 3 deep breaths in and out. And now finishing off, the finish is the same way. So putting all your fingertips together and bringing it to your third eye here. This is a really wonderful exercise for teachers or anywhere where you need clear communication. So if you have children, this is a great exercise to teach them before they go to school, before they start their schoolwork. If you're a workshop leader or do things like that, this is an amazing exercise. Okay, so we have our energy running forward. We have our right and left brain connected. We have our front and our back brain connected. So that's the end of the first set of exercises. So I mentioned earlier on about our business that we're involved in food production. I think you would need to be Solomon these days, Solomon, the wise man, to actually know what decisions to make. Everything is so uncertain. If you produce more stuff, will anybody be eating it? Will there be anywhere to go and get these shops? So it can be very stressful to take action when you don't know what actions to take. So dealing with uncertainty is one of the things that I struggle with the most. If you tell me what I have to do, what mountain I have to climb, yeah, I can climb it. So I have noticed that people that are very anxious, they're afraid of making the wrong decision. And if we're depressed, you notice people with depression tend to be very indecisive. So I wanted to show these two particular exercises. They're there to support you if you need to make decisions and you don't know what decisions to make. So the first exercise is based on the electrics. So the electrics is the 9th energy system. It's the last one that Donna came up with, and it comprises of the electrical dimension of all the other energy systems. So the electrics works on all the other energy systems and is an energy system in its own right. So as I say, if you need direction, it may not come to you in this moment, but it's been my experience using this exercise in my own life within a day or within 2 or 3 days or within a week. I get a flash of intuition that will always guide me on a right course. So I really invite you to make this an exercise that you can use. So you're going to put your thumbs on bladder 21, which is the edge of the eyebrows. So that's bladder meridian, we've talked about them already. And your middle fingers are going onto your liver neurovasculars. So the neurovasculars help us to manage emotion. And I had intended doing the neurovasculars, but a lot of the class is done already. A lot of my colleagues have done a lot of work on the neurovasculars. So we're just going to have our thumbs on the bladder point, our middle fingers on the liver neurovasculars, and we're just going to hold these points for a few minutes. Okay, so I really invite you to make that part of your routine. So the next exercise I use when I need inspiration is called Heaven Rushing In. I have such a wonderful view outside of my office. I'm up on one floor here with beautiful trees, but I can't show them to you now, it's too dark, but I love to do this exercise outside. So I'm going to invite you to stand up, rub your hands together, shake them off. Now putting your hands on your legs and just really feeling yourself getting grounded. You know, the floor is going to hold us all up. You know, we don't have to keep ourselves tight in case we fall. We just allow the floor to hold us and to support us. Then taking a deep breath in, we're going to bring our hands into the prayer position. And then we're going to reach up towards the heavens. So we can connect with a higher power, with angels, just with the energies of the universe. So you're really just going to put your question out there and ask the universe to guide you, inspire you, show you the right course of action to take. So just really connecting with that. And when your hands are full, just slowly bringing it down into your heart and taking a breath in and out here. And it's okay, we can go back for more energy. So just opening out the hands again and just really connecting with that. Just all the wisdom is out there. We just need to bring it into ourselves. And just bringing it back to here. And if there's a part of the body that could do with extra support, you can go back to the universe and get some more energy. And again, when you feel your arms full, you can just bring it back to the part of the body that needs support. Okay, so I'm going to move on now and talk a little bit about two meridians, triple warmer and spleen. So triple warmer is the meridian that's governed with keeping us safe. Its primary job is survival. No matter what happens, triple warmer wants us to survive. The spleen meridian then is associated with our immune system as well. They have two sort of different energies. The triple warmer is more like, I'm going to keep you safe no matter what. The spleen meridian is a gentler energy. It tries to get everybody working in harmony. So triple warmer, when it needs a lot of energy, takes it from everybody. So that's why all the other meridians, that's why when we experience a lot of stress, we can end up with a lot of digestive issues, because triple warmer has taken all the energy that spleen should be using to metabolize our food. So these two exercises that I'm going to demonstrate are really, really simple, but they help to create a balance between these two meridians. So the first exercise is called the fear tap. So just bringing either hand over to your chest area, and then we're going to work on this little point between the fourth and fifth finger, just above, just in line with the knuckle there. So again, I find people that are anxious start worrying about the point. Don't worry, just use all the fingers and you're going to get the point anyway. So just maybe do some taps as you think about this fear. This is a wonderful exercise to do at night in bed, especially if you're all wound up. And then bringing the other hand over, putting your hand on your chest, using all these fingers, just getting into that little divot. It's called the gamut point for those of you that are familiar with tapping. And again, just tapping, just thinking about the fear and allowing it to come up. And just notice the fear dissolving. Just notice your body relaxing. So you can keep that up for a little longer, but generally speaking, a minute or two on either hand does the trick, or on both hands. So the next exercise is called the spleen hug. Again, one of my favorites. So we're going to put our right hand just under the chest area there, which means it's resting on the spleen organ. We're going to bring our other hand just above our elbow, which means you're resting on a triple warmer point. And just make yourself real cozy and just relax. Great exercise to do when you're watching television. You can really do it at any time. And there's a lovely feeling about, I know a lot of people I work with would say they love this because it feels like giving yourself a hug. Children love this exercise as well. And now we're going to do it the other way around. So we're going to bring our left hand over here where it's resting on liver and gallbladder, and this hand again back on the triple warmer point. Okay, so I'm going to move on and talk about a couple of things that I think are very important in mental health, and talk about how the Eden method can support us. And again, reminding you that if you'd like to avail of the free class, you just go into freeclass.edenmethod.com. So I'm going to talk about the radiant circuits. So the radiant circuits help us to activate joy. And think about the energy of joy. You know, on a day when you're in good humor and you're happy, isn't everything so easy? Everything is much easier to do. Or think about a time when you were really stressed and somebody came in and told you a good joke. The body relaxes and you just get back to normal. So that's the beauty of the radiant circuits, where the meridians are a channel that sticks to a path. The radiant circuits can jump anywhere. They can create balance. They know where to go. They use their own wisdom. With the meridians, we need to guide them a bit. But once you can activate those radiant circuits, you're really, you're on a winner. So I think we could all do with more joy at this moment in time. So think of all the things that give you joy. You can exercise to music, you can do the daily energy routine. Any of these exercises I've demonstrated, you're going to get so much more value for your money if you put on your favorite music. So this is the first exercise I'm going to demonstrate. So you're going to put you're going to make a 3-finger notch and put it on your sternum here. And you're going to put a 3-finger notch about on your spleen 21 point, which is about 4 inches below your armpit. So just by putting them here, you're touching your spleen point. Spleen is a radiant circuit. You're touching your heart, and you're on a governing point. You're just really creating you're really helping bringing out your inner radiance. And of course, smile. Again, you're getting more bang for your buck if you add a smile in. So joy is just such a wonderful energy, and love, they're both amazing energies. And then just bringing it to the other side. So I just wanted to talk about a little bit while I'm holding this about, I think one of the things that I have struggled with a lot during this pandemic is the fact that people are dying, and they're dying alone, and they're not getting proper burials, or, well, not the way we like to do it in Ireland, where we have a wake and all the neighbours gather and we support each other, and we have a long process of grieving. And then for a lot of people, there would be a mass, there would be a blessing, there would be an interment. So quite a lot of people in my circle have died in recent times, and I've not been able to go to the funerals, and I have really found that hard. And I know that talking to people, and especially if they live on their own, if they're really struggling with that sense of no touch, nobody to give them a hug. So touch is related to a hormone called oxytocin. So even by holding this touch yourself, you're activating the hormone of oxytocin, and it's going to help you feel better. And this is a very soothing touch. So the next radiant circuit exercise we're going to do is called, it's just hearts. And I'm sure other people have demonstrated it during the week. So you just draw a heart from your sternum, just coming around the side of your body down to the pubic bone, coming back up the center, and smiling and thinking loving thoughts. So one of the things we do in counselling is we talk about mirroring. So if you want somebody to really understand you, we talk about, whatever they're doing with their body, we do the same thing. So I really want to invite people that are going to see family members through a window or on Skype. I really invite you to do this exercise, because the energy of the heart is very healing. So drawing hearts together. But if you just follow me and notice what happens, I'm going to do this very slowly, but I want you to do it at the same pace that I'm doing it, okay? So let's do it really slowly and play along with me, humor me. Okay, so just coming up the sternum, across, coming very slowly down, just down the sides of the body or the rib cage, and just coming just above your pubic bone, and just smiling and thinking loving thoughts. Just coming up the center to the back to the sternum. So we're going to do that 3 times. So you can do it really fast or really slow, but what you want to do is the person you're doing it with, you want to keep it at the same pace. So let's go with that slow pace again. So coming up, going around the side of the body. You can use your full hand. We have the electromagnetics of the hand, down to the pubic bone, just coming up the center, going across the side, and smiling and just allowing your love for each other to come up and coming back to here. Another wonderful way to connect with people, and we're all talking good mental health, we want to stay connected. Another way to stay connected is figure of 8s. Our body loves the figure of 8s, it's in our DNA, but we're using it this way to connect with another person. So connecting with your granny or your granddad or your mum and dad or anybody. Just being able to connect like that. Just feel that sense of connectivity growing. So we just have 2 more exercises left. So I'm going back to the electrics with this exercise. And again, I'm teaching it because of all these people that may be living on their own and dealing with heartbreak. It's an electrics exercise. And I really think about it as reconnecting our heart cable, because if we're heartbroken, it's like that cable has snapped. So I just invite you to bring your left hand over to the side of your chest, just sort of in line with the nipple, and then straight across where the arm attaches. And just putting your whole hand there. And I'm using the whole hand because I don't want people to just get too anxious about it. And then we're going to put your little finger into your groin area. So you're just going to hold this point. And you're just going to sit with this as you just find your heart energy, reconnect and find a new balance or another balance. And again, just by even that it's yourself touching yourself, you're activating that oxytocin. So you're just doing it from left to right. So our very last exercise, I want to talk about gratitude. So there are lots of things that are challenging in our lives at the moment, but even though there is, I guarantee you there are lots of things going well. When things are going well, we tend not to notice. So as long as my car is working, I don't feel that sense of gratitude. But if I go out and have a flat tire, it's very important to me. So I want you to think about all the different things that are going well in your life. And if you think about that before you go to sleep, it will probably improve your night's sleep. But for this exercise, I just want you to think about something that brings you a lot of joy. Just want you to come up. It can be a person, a place, a thing, or an event. Just come up. Get a picture in your mind. And make that picture even brighter if you can. What are the sounds that you associate with that picture? See if you can hear them. Make them even louder. What are the smells that you associate with this picture? What are the tastes that you can associate with this picture? So now, using all our senses and making that picture as vibrant as possible, I want you to tap in the joy. So just tapping it in. So I want to leave you on that note of joy and gratitude. And just a reminder that even though things might seem out of control, we can control our social distancing, and we can control how often we wash our hands, and we can control the way we blow our nose. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have found some of these exercises useful. And again, if you'd like to know more about the class, just logging on to Eden class. Sorry, I'll begin again. So logging on to freeclass.edenmethod.com. So thank you for joining me, and Slán Léamh go léir.